Welcome everybody to this edition of snot in your nose type of shit. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my other host, the nose picker,
Fuck off. Uncle Spoke.
your
along
boy,
with
your boy Fluke Dog. What you think,
all
bro?
right, and we got a special guest tonight, Xavier Lee. Um,
Good eye, bro.
welcome
How
to
you
the
doing,
show.
brother?
What's going on, man? Y'all can hear me good?
Oh yeah, we can hear you good, bro.
All right.
Look, and there's a better picture. It looks like there's a sun outside. You must be on an iPhone or something, bro.
Yeah, it's an iPhone. You know iPhone is. Come on, man.
Hey, look,
You know that.
this is Strong Perspective podcast. We're on every Friday at 7:30. We promote conversation. We promote education. We promote togetherness as much as possible. Because we got some cranky brothers and sisters out there, but hey, we win one battle at a time. You feel what I'm saying? Um, Let me do some housekeeping before we move further. This is a Strong Perspective podcast. Um, what we'd like you to do is go to our YouTube channel by the same name, like, share, and subscribe, man. You know, you're welcome to watch our episodes, and we put little shorts on there also. And you're welcome to share those shorts with everybody else that you feel might be something meaningful for people. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, we're going 2 years strong, and it's been a whole lot of knowledge and a whole lot of good people that cross these airways, and we're gonna continue to do so. You know what I mean? Now that that's out of the way, go like, share, and subscribe, and do your do for us, please. With that being said, Damon, how you doing today, brother?
Blessed, man. I had a great day. I relaxed, like I told you, Corey. I ain't do nothing. I just watched the world go by, man. And took in some rays, sat in the park. Man, should have been doing this when the summer is over.
Yeah.
I'm saying
You
on the
know,
last on the last
you know,
decent weather days,
how the hell?
admission.
Hey, bro, how the hell you get that distracted, man?
Look, listen, and you said it with attitude too.
I
Didn't
did.
do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I did.
Is this another
Jaquari,
brother, Keith? I don't think
uh,
I met.
both my brothers, Damon and Jaquari, man.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to meet you, brother.
Good to meet you,
Likewise,
brother. Good to
man.
meet you.
Yeah.
Jaquari, how was your day today?
My day was cool, man. I'm recovering from Tuesday. That's my 52nd birthday, man. So I'm settling into that. These 52 long hard years I've endured and shined and shit. And I'm just trying to figure out, you know, where I'm gonna put my foot next.
You trying to plant your
52
flag,
hard
bro?
years of suffering. No.
Why not? 52 long hard years. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, happy belated, man.
Appreciate you.
All right,
Appreciate
X, how you
that.
doing today, man? Welcome, man. Thank you for coming
Appreciate it.
on because this is a
Yeah.
pleasure for us. How was your day today?
It was good. I just regular another day at the job, man.
Okay.
But it was, the weather was nice, like you said earlier. Can never beat that. Other than that, everything was copacetic. You
Okay.
know, ready to get a little oil in me. You know what I'm saying? A little sippy sip, right?
You say that. Oh, you brought the old
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
yeah. Some little
I had
oil
to
old
in
ask
me.
days
you.
You know what I
new
mean?
Yes,
again.
sir.
Yeah, where you from, bro?
My dad was in the military, man. So I grew up traveling. So both my parents
Okay.
are from Carolina, though. Yeah, they from. But I lived in Kansas, Maryland, Virginia, Germany,
Okay.
and then Texas. Yeah, so I got a little bit of all of that. But my heart is here. It's where I've been here since what, '02. Graduated from college in '01. Got out here and moved to Winston first, and then came on to Raleigh in about '02. Been here ever since. But
Okay.
Everybody, whenever somebody talk about some oil or something, I'm thinking they from back from where we come from.
Where y'all from again? Pittsburgh?
No.
Oh,
We from Detroit,
Detroit,
man.
Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Detroit. You know what's funny? I believe I got that from college, and I think it may have been somebody, one of my teammates from either Flint. We had a bunch of people from Flint.
Okay.
We had a whole bunch of people from Detroit at the school anyway. I went to Prairie View, and they had a Michigan club, matter of fact, and I had a whole bunch of homeboys from Detroit, Flint, teammates, people that didn't play
Okay.
ball, but yeah, well, that's a state I have yet to visit, man. Out of all the states, I've been almost everywhere. I ain't been to Michigan.
Well traveled. I look.
Yeah.
First of all, Michigan knows how to form grown as men, right? But sometimes it can be a little hard on the soul, though, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you make it out, you appreciate the hell out of it. That's the real,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
that's
it's
the
you know
real
it's,
shit.
it's got some guys. I mean, we got a commercial like a tourist commercial they show in Virginia. So
Oh, sure, that's
yeah,
great, man.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I'm thinking about that oil, that grog, or that steam.
that steam.
Man, I
That's
heard
what
that
we call
steam.
it.
That steam
Yep,
is
Yes,
new.
those
yes,
three.
sir.
I ain't heard the other
Yep.
one. You said grog. I ain't heard
Yeah,
that one.
Rock,
Yeah,
yeah.
you hear that?
That's a
that's when
pirate drink.
that's when you're drunk. You talking about some grog. You know
Drinking
what I'm
rock
saying?
up.
You know what I
You know,
mean?
you don't care what it is as long as it's wet and it burns. God damn it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So X, you're new to our crowd, man, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, man? And you don't have to be. You could be as detailed as you want to be, or whatever. First of all, I'll give you a good starting point. Talking about being a well-traveled young man.
Yeah, that's
When
right. I was getting ready to start with that, man.
yeah,
I already said that. Yeah, so I grew up traveling, man. I was blessed with my dad being in the military. I was born in Kansas, but we didn't stay there too long. And from there, we moved to Newport News. Yeah, we were there about 4 or 5 years. And from there, we went to Germany for about 5 years, and then made it back to the states and was in Texas. So that was an interesting. See, Virginia. See, my parents from Carolina, so we got family, of course, all over Carolina, Virginia, going up north, all the way to New York, Connecticut, D.C. Baltimore. My grandmother was in Baltimore. So being in Texas, man, we had no family. Um, so it was different. I was about 11, 12. So meeting a lot of people for the first time in on that particular part of the globe with no family was different. I mean, we lived in Germany, so it wasn't too much of a what you call hassle to adjust. But that weather, man. I mean, I'm coming from cold, true winters, snow on the ground the whole
yeah.
time, to
Mhm.
and it's West Texas too. So we were in El Paso, Fort Bliss.
Okay.
West Texas, dry heat, man. Crazy. From there, I just met a couple of friends. A couple of them I'm still cool with to this day. End up, long story short, just finished high school there, and then went to Prairie View, A&M, out there in Houston, outside of Houston. Um, played ball there, and then uh, came out in '01, man, and moved back to the East Coast. I knew I was gonna get back here at some point. The whole idea was to try to get to Charlotte, Atlanta. Back then, this is '01. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they jumping now. If you imagine back then, they were starting to really, really jump. Atlanta been on it like that. Charlotte was like coming up. Uh, so then I met my ex-wife. When I moved here, and that's how I got to Raleigh. Been here ever since, man. Been here ever since. So, but seen a lot, man. Met a lot of good people. I was in law enforcement, so I met Keith for about 8 years. Um, Interesting career, to say the least. Somewhat of a conflict of interest, but it was what it was. And then got out of that and started doing some mental health. I did mental health for about 8 years, 7 years. And now I work for the state, man. I do disability. I'm a claims adjudicator. I'm trying to get people with disability, man, Medicaid.
Okay. Okay.
And that's pretty much my story in terms of the traveling. I get to see France, Amsterdam, all parts of Germany. Man, I was also in martial arts, which I'm not too vocal about, but yeah, I got a black belt, so I got to travel, going to tournaments and see different places over there. Um, and continue to travel, just traveling to college, playing ball, and all over the Delta, Mississippi, and all that, Louisiana. Um, let's see, yeah, I mean, those are some great memories, man. Playing ball, strong, playing college ball ain't nothing like it. You get the opportunity,
Yeah.
travel with it and experience and meet people and see places in Biloxi, Mississippi. That's where our swag tournament was for my 2 years. I played it 3 years. And yeah, man. So these last about 5-6 years, I started really getting into what I really love to do, which is writing. So I have a couple of children's books out. And,
Hey, X, hold on for 1 second because
yeah,
this is probably, even though the other part of your journey was important, this is you. I want you to be nice and clear because your mic is going in and out. I
Right.
don't know if your beard is getting in the way
it's
or
probably
not.
the AirPods, man. They go.
Hey, Keith.
Now.
I ain't know he's speaking his dirt. So how you say that, man?
They go.
Oh,
What? Legacy Dirch.
Expecting dirt, or I mean, I know, but it's three aspects you spoke on, man. I want to ask you about, man. When Keith,
but hold on. Let him finish this because this is what he's doing right now. No, I want you to give us. Yeah. Go ahead and do what you have to do, man, because this is important also. Very important.
Okay. Yeah. So I started doing poetry, open mic events and stuff like that, and back in 2014, 15, and just as a way to get my expressions out. Like I said, my gift is to write has been since I was a little kid. My first poem, I think I was about 12, 13, called "Increase the Peace." You know, young black male write a poem called "Increase the Peace." But I ain't did nothing of it, and so I actually try to hone in on that gift, and I started writing, and eventually got the courage to get on stage, man. And from there, just been performing.
Okay.
And started in that transition to acting. Been on stage, been doing numerous stage plays, and now movies, man. I'm doing film. I got to be in Atlanta next month for a film shoot. It's a web series. A series it's supposed to be on Peacock, but I'm not really fine to speak too much on it. But
Gotcha.
yeah, man. Yeah. That's what I'm doing now, man. So I'm excited about it.
Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. And Damon, what were you going to say now?
No, what I was saying was that it was going in and out, like you said, man, what you expressed too. But I caught that last man, you a jack of all trades, Renaissance man, then, huh?
Renaissance.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Sound like I heard you covered all the civil service branches. I heard that part. You know what I'm saying? Law enforcement, mental health, and what was the third one?
Disability. Yeah.
Oh, you covered all bases, man. You covered all bases. And bro, you a Renaissance man, bro, for real, man.
Yes,
and
indeed.
so you do the acting and all that stuff?
Yeah. I got I've done probably about 12 stage plays in the last few years.
Oh, okay.
Just did my first lead role in a play by the late Sam Mark Williams called Home. I've done Fences by August Wilson, The Ma Rainey's Black Bottom by August Wilson, and a few others.
wow.
A couple movie cameos. Yeah.
You also wrote some books too, haven't you, bro?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the children's books. I got two children's books out that initially when I started doing that, I wanted to have a series, of books. And started doing so many other things, man. I just put some things on the back burner, you know what I'm saying? So
Got
But
you.
I'm still gonna get back on that. I actually got one a young adult chapter book that I need to kind of tweak up. I got about 10 chapters. Been sitting on it for a couple of years, but yeah, man, yeah, just trying to leave an imprint, you know.
For
Okay.
sure.
We all got our time, man. So it's just a matter of what we do
No
while
doubt.
we're here. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. I have this question for you. With me, my personal life, every moment that I spent,
Mhm.
like high school, college, left an imprint on my life, on how I am today. Right?
Yeah.
Can you speak on your journey, and you pick two things from your journey that has an impact on who you are today?
Two things from my journey.
Yeah, let me put it. Just bring in, not to put you on the spot, but I would say one of the things for myself is growing up with my two brothers, right? Being the oldest, and I had two parents who are old school, and I was not responsible for my brothers, but understood that all three of us were our brothers' keepers.
Right.
So that influenced me when it came to when I played basketball, right? When I played football, when I played when I said played, when I worked in law enforcement for 30 years, is I always felt like I was responsible for people.
Yeah.
And that came from my upbringing. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I kind of mirror that somewhat as in your footsteps, because of course a few years younger than you, but yeah, my both parents and didn't have any siblings. However, as I told you, growing up, being able to travel, meet people from all over the world, different perspectives, and having a father he was a military man. Yeah, he was a Southern man, but he was a true black man. He was a you need to know you a black male, young, growing up in this racist white society. That's what I had. That's what I had from as far as I can remember, 5, 6. And then he was a talker, a lecturer. He was one of those straight old school. Son, sit down. I'm gonna talk to you, and that was a couple of
oh yeah.
hours later. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No,
Hey,
no,
do
we
that sound
we
Told
familiar?
me
we familiar with that, brother.
I figured that. Look, when you said both parents and plus strong, I've been knowing you for what 02, man. Back when you went
Yeah,
to courthouse, when I went to
yeah.
courthouse, broke bread and waxed quite a few times. So yeah, I can already imagine what y'all had, what y'all had in the crib. But I would say that, and then that kind of propelled me to want to always seek. My dad always used to say, ain't nothing gonna come to you. You gotta go out there. You gotta go out there and find it. You gotta go out there and look for it. You gotta, And so I started seeking, man. By the time I got to college, I wasn't a reader growing up, but I started reading. I mean, books that just opened my eyes to different perspectives on many topics, religion, culture, ethics, everything, man. And that's around that age where I started, I guess, what they call it knowledge, coming to the knowledge of self,
Yeah.
being able to define who I am, and really not, not let any other concept or whatever, define me. I gotta define me for myself. I gotta define myself for me. And yeah, and just being around people, man. Like I said, at 16, I worked at. I'm sorry, 18. At 18, I worked at a YMCA with kids. Well, actually, let me go back. So when I was about 11, 12, because I always went to summer camp growing up, that was what I did. So when I got a little too old, my mom was like, hey, you're a little too old. I was about 11 and 12 during summer camp. And there was an opportunity to volunteer So you can. So my mom looked at it like an economical perspective. From an economical, she was like, "Look, I can save us some money, yeah." And you know, so you get to take all the trips with the kids, and so for 2 years straight. So from it's either 11 and 12 or 12 and 13, man. I volunteered with these little kids, man. I was like a big brother. Like I said, I had no siblings, so that's what really got me to really. That's why children's books and just really all my life. You know, I had a little campaign. I started a little Facebook thing years ago called Save the Baby. I got it from, of course, the late great Marvin Gaye with his song. But just just having compassion for children, and then realizing that that's the future, man. You know, we all cool with what we've experienced, but they just coming up in this world. You know, they just need guidance. They just need wisdom. They need understanding, and so with hope that they can be those adults like you brothers doing today. You know what I'm saying? Like we all doing right now. There's so many of us out here doing it. So much people out here that ain't fucking this world up, but. You know, as Bob Marley said, he used to say, they asked him why he worked so hard and why he did so much. He's like, the people trying to destroy this world ain't taking no time off, so why should I?
That's real.
You know, so
that's real.
I would say that upbringing, man. Definitely the upbringing, experiences, you know, and,
okay.
you know, yeah.
Okay.
It's funny that you. Yeah, it's funny that you admit.
Listen.
What?
I want you guys to answer that also, and then you can ask your question. Do you remember the question?
Nah.
Man, keep going, and now I'm getting partial stuff, man.
No, I'm talking about the question that I asked. I asked what part of your journey influenced you the most today, or who you are.
I mean, you know, that's not an easy question for me, man, because you know I was
I understand.
You know who I was when I was a kid, man. You know, I was searching for understanding, and I didn't feel like there were too many people who had it for me. So instead of me, you know, internalizing that search, you know, I kind of shut down at times. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I was satisfied with just, you know, running with the status quo. I didn't really like do anything that I wanted to do until I started going to Central. You know, when I started acting a little bit. You know, I always wanted to do that. When I was in high school, you know, I was a jock. You know, I was playing football, basketball. You know, when they had like the theater meeting or whatever, you know, they told me I couldn't come in there. So I was like, okay,
gotcha.
You know, so whether it was the dream deferred or not, I don't know, but there's a lot of shit like that, man. A lot of things, man, where you know when I think about them, and I really do a self-assessment, and I say, man, if you would have just stepped up and you know and expressed what you wanted, man, and what you needed at the time, you would have been fulfilled in those situations. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And I think that shapes me now because that's what I do now. You know, go out of my way, which might be contributed to that as well. But I go out of my way, man, to you know tell people what's on my mind with as little offense as possible.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's worked. It's worked for me up to this point. I had a good life. You know. But.
Okay. Damon, what about you?
At this stage in my life now, man, finna be 59, bro. How I think about it is, and I hope I answer the question, but the way I'm thinking is this way, man. You know, thinking back in my life in retrospect, the things I struggled with had easy answers to it. I was just too stubborn to recognize it. But now that I'm recognizing it, now I'm excited about the possibilities, man, because I take it a different approach to life, man. I see it different.
Gotcha.
You know, and I think that's the best way I can answer that. If I answered it.
No, look, yeah, because it came from your heart, man. So that's all I wanted.
That's all I wanted to hear you say, brother. I knew what I was saying. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Cosign, man, cosign that. But look, the one thing that I understood about this, man, is I always was, even though I wanted to be a part of the group. See, I grew up wanting to be a part of the group, but I was never a part of it. You feel what I'm saying? For one reason or another. That's just how it was laid down. So when I realized that sometimes you have to be on the island by yourself, whether you want to be on the island by yourself or not, for your own well-being, who you are. You see what I'm saying? Because the one thing about it is you have to establish who you are as a human being. That's it. To me. And I'm not talking about that's the end all be all. I'm saying in order for you to achieve the things that you achieve in life, you have to be happy with who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I even asked the question more than anything, because X, you were you, like I said, I said this before. What's going on, Robert Michener? KJ, what's going on, brother? Look. X, you, for real, that's real shit. You are a well-traveled human being. So people who and I don't know how you feel about the phrase army brat, but your father was in the military, right?
Yeah.
You don't get a chance to put down roots.
Yeah.
Right? But you became a student of human behavior because you had to.
Mm-hmm.
This is my guesstimate. Now, if you don't agree with me, I understand. But I would see it where you would have to not fit in every place that you and your family landed, but understood who you were when you landed there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I asked more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just do this. What got you onto, and be a little more in depth with it? What got you onto the acting bug? Because you, like we're Facebook friends, so I saw you when you started doing the spoken word and you started doing the different things when you wrote the children's book. I mean, I'm seeing this in real time. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what made you like? I mean, because let me put it like this. Me personally, people call me a nice guy, but my ego is so fucking gigantic, it's not funny. If you feel what I'm saying? If people who know me know that it is, but I don't try to get, I don't project it on anybody. But the point I'm trying to make is, what was it that said, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to jump on this stage, and then I want to jump into this film.
You know what, man? As far as acting, when I was a kid, man, I was a huge movie buff, man. Well, not just movies, but just TV shows. I grew up in the '80s, of course, Cosby Show and many other those sitcoms. Back then, it wasn't a whole lot on TV, nowhere near as it is now. But I always found, as a kid, fascination in some of those actors, man, like mainly like Denzel and Morgan and Jack Nicholson and all that. I found like this interesting fascination, even amongst my peers. We talk about a movie or we talk about a show, whatever we saw, and I was just like, fascinated at how they presented the character. Didn't really quite understand why. I just didn't watch it like everybody else. I was also watching it like almost like a director, like, yo, you see that? Yo, you see doing the background? I would pause the joints, man. I'm like 8, 9, 10 years old, pausing, rewinding, trying to find, little flaws and shit like this crazy stuff. But so I've always been into film. I just didn't really, get, I don't want to say pushed, but motivated, if you will, to take that route as a kid, like so many people do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too off when I got the first offer to do a stage play. I actually came from doing open mic, spoken word. Actually, I did a show, and in that, Deb, I got shout out to Deb, man. She's a theater director where I do most of my plays with. I've worked with some other people, but for Pure Life Theater, she saw me at we did a Mother's Day, so the fiance, my wife and I say fiance, wife and I, the Queen, we hosted a Mother's Day event through the theater, and I just did 1 or 2 pieces, and I think what she saw, because she's been doing theater forever, what she saw was like, okay, he might be able to be on stage and do well. So she asked me after the show, and I thought about it. I'm like, you want to do? It's called Fences, and I had heard of Fences because I saw the movie, Denzel, my favorite actor, but I had knew nothing about August Wilson, the playwright. I just knew that Denzel was in that movie, and I didn't play Denzel's role, but I still we get offered asked to do that. Was monumental to me because it was the first time. And I just said, yeah, what I'm saying? Got the script, and that was my first script that I had to, read and learn the lines. And man, it really just took off from there. And just everything that I remember growing up, all the little details, just watching, and then just being heavily animated, man. I've always been silly my whole life. I caught most of my whippings was being a class clown. So, in Living Color, all them Saturday Night Live, all them crazy shows, silly shows, Martin, you name them, I was watching them. So just being extra, being animated, being silly, man, just, kind of just encapsulated all of that and then just put it on the stage. And then the rest was really from getting opportunities. And then from there, just like, you know what, I think I did my first, I had a cameo little part in the film. So, it's out on Prime and all that. I beatboxed, in the park. We actually shot out here in Wake Forest.
You beatbox,
and I think from there, man, I was like, it was a faith-based film. So I ain't had no lines and shit. I just beatboxed for like 10 seconds. I'm in that joint. And but from there, I was like, you know what? It's something I would mind doing. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't trying to do it full time. I'm too old for that. If I get an opportunity to do something, though, of course, like I am, I'm taking them. But as far as just am I that passionate and driven to try to, go all out and do it full time? Nah, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's fun, but it's a lot of work.
They said Morgan Freeman started when he was 50.
He did.
Sure did.
He did.
Later in life. He did.
Gene Hackman started at 50.
I didn't know that. I know Chadwick Boseman started. He won 50, but he started kind of later.
Last name Duvall. Robert Duvall. Yeah. Started it when they was in their 50s. But I caught something real quick. You said you was beatboxing in a faith-based movie. How does that work, bro?
No, it's so my character rather was we had a family. It was me, my wife, and in the movie, my wife and my daughter, little girl. They both had a few lines, and we were in a park out here in Wake Forest, enjoying the park. But that scene was so the main character, or one of the main characters, she was a photographer, and but basically in short, she took on her niece because her sister passed in a car accident, so she started raising her niece, the main character. The niece was the little girl was the main, and then the mom, the aunt. Yeah, so she was a photographer, so she was in the park that day, just kind of taking shots, and she took our family photos and whatever. And our 6-year-old daughter wouldn't smile, so she was just kind of like, yeah. So it's one of those. You want to smile? It's like, hey, Dad, you like music? Like, yeah, I like. So I start beatboxing.
Okay, I got you.
Funny. Yeah.
Okay.
So you was a scene stealer then, huh?
Scene stealer, man. But it was fun. It was fun. It was hot as hell that day too. I tell you that. Hot as a mother, man. Yeah.
Jaquari, Jaquari told us earlier he was a theater major at Central.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
And I personally seen him in about 4 plays. And the funny thing about it, when you grow up with someone and then you find out that they actually got some damn talent that you ain't paid attention to, I was like, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my question is what I asked X, man. What made you I think you touched on it before, Corey, but what made you gravitate toward that? You know what I mean? Is it because the young women that's in the theater majors, or what the fuck is going on?
Well, yeah, you threw me off of that one, but I think it was the attention, man. I love the attention. I love being in front of people, man. You know, because like I said, I didn't necessarily feel like I had people's understanding, in my everyday life, but on the stage or whatever, they didn't have any choice but to focus on me because they came here to see me or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I respect that. You paid your money or whatever, so I'm gonna give you what I got. You
Okay.
know,
Ain't nothing like it either, bro.
there's nothing like it, man.
For real. I
There's
think
nothing
that's
like
what
it.
keeps it, what I mean, even more
Yeah.
motivated. Like, oh, people actually, and then the feedback, people, especially the elders that love theater and respect theater. Because I wasn't no
Mhm.
theater person. I ain't grow. Like I said, I love movies, but I think the first play I went to, man, I was married back then. We went to some play. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I didn't do plays and all that shit. So to do stage and do theater for me now, it's like shit. That wasn't a dream, man. I hooped. You know what I'm saying?
But
Dude, I gonna be a
in that
But for
isn't
me,
that
for
isn't
me,
that
for me, it was a carryover, man. For me, it was a
yeah,
carryover from
that's
from
what I was
athletics,
about to
man.
say, Jacquard. But go ahead.
On that stage, man, and once my body had become had got to the point where I couldn't do what was the 35, 40 mile an hour crashes anymore. I had to put that energy into something else, man. And when I first applied to Central, I'd already been to a couple of other colleges or whatever, and I wasn't a theater major. I decided to become a theater major at
right.
Central in the office while me and my brother Keith was standing there, and the lady was like, well, what's your major? I was a freshman. I didn't have to declare a major right then. I just, I said, I thought about it for a second,
Mm,
and I said, "Spoke, huh? What's your dream, man? What you want to do?
yeah,
What do you want to do?" And that was it,
yeah,
and got into it a little bit and discovered that, I had a little bit of skill at it,
right.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
you were the
It's
Sandbar
a really,
Williams.
really good, huh?
Sandbar Williams. He was at the didn't he teach at the time in theater at Central.
Say that name again.
Sam Art Williams. He was in what was that show we always not To Kill a Mockingbird. He was in one of those shows we grew up watching.
Okay.
What year was that?
He wrote home. What years was he the theater? He went to Central actually, and he came back. He went to New York, he came back and started teaching a couple classes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure the years. It might have been a little before. Yeah.
I tell you, and it's relatable because all four of us have been high level athletes. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I had to learn because the years I was at Pitt, we was in the Big East, and they would interview us after the games, before the games, different things like that. And being a starter, it kind of you either put up or shut up. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And you had to learn how to be in front of people when you're on that basketball court. Fluke,
yeah.
X, y'all know. When y'all on that basketball court and y'all the main guys, you have to do what? You have to understand that people are focusing on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So from you three gentlemen, I'm just trying to tie it all together. Your sports experience.
Mm.
Tell me how you relate that into, acting, into just life lessons on being in front of people. Damon, we'll start with you, and then X will come to you, and then Jaquar.
For me, the acting aspect of it, man, I can
No, no,
imagine
no,
how.
no. Listen, no. I'm not talking about acting. I'm talking about you being on that basketball court, being one of the main guys. What it did for you in your confidence, who you are.
Well, I had to make it make sense to me, man. My whole thing was, after when I was in college, after 15 games, I was tired of it. Then I had 15 more games to go, so I had to find a reason. My reason was, okay, what can I do? What can I try? And that type of thing. And when things started working for me, I'm like, shit, okay, I can get into this. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get into that zone and the whole gym turn that bright yellow. You know what I'm saying? And you can't miss. You know what I'm saying? I experienced that on several occasions, and it was good to tap into it, man, because I never thought that there was an avenue for me to take. But as it pertains to life, man, um, I know that whatever I tried, it was going to work out. All I had to do was get in my comfort zone and make the effort. You know what I'm saying? So for me, pass or fail, failing, I'm not going to sit up and say, well, failing is not an option. No, failing sometimes is a good thing because it humbles you, man.
Yeah.
It humbles you and it makes you focus on, okay, I made this mistake. And think about all the opportunities in life, man, that you had that. Think about all the situations in life you had the opportunity. I made this mistake. Let me go back and work on it and then, challenge it again. Sometimes you don't get that, that opportunity. So basketball made me realize that I had to make it happen in real time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And not give anybody a choice to make it for me, make the decision for me.
And great answer. Just to give you a back before you answer, just to give you background, Damon is in his school's Hall of Fame basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what this is what he's speaking from. Now he'll tell you every day, and I say every day, oh, I didn't care about basketball. You feel what I'm saying? But I knew deep
Yeah,
down
we talking about
he,
X, bro.
he gave a fuck about it. Now
We
we're
talking
gonna
about
move
X,
on
bro.
from you. Yeah, but I just said that just for some context. X,
Yeah.
just relate
No.
your basketball journey, man. Just for GP. I want people to know.
Yeah. Now mine is pretty much, and you spoke on that failure part. Like for me, I kind of wish I did have more, failures. When I first played, that was the first time ever playing organized. I was 12. I was in a private school, seventh grade. I ain't never touched the ball. So next thing you know, the same private school, long story short, next year in eighth grade, I'm on varsity. You know what I'm saying? Ninth grade, I'm starting varsity. And I'm dropping about 20, 23, 24 games. So, I mean, for me, it was just like, it was definitely a confidence booster, but it was like, it was a confidence, morale. And like you said, being a man, everybody knows, you the man, you the one dropping all the buckets or whatever, whether y'all winning or losing. That's a mug just dropping 30 points. They lost, but that motherfucker is bad. Um, so I think for me, and that's a segue into my next point. We won the best team. I transitioned from the private to the public school my last 3 years. I almost had to start over. I played JV, and that's probably where I felt any failure came because I was like, I know I was getting another play varsity, but they had that year they were stacked with seniors. And then junior year, and I had a coach, shout out to my high school coach, man, but he was old school. Like he was like, "You a big man, my big man don't dribble the ball down the court and shoot threes." And I could do both. You know what I'm saying? That's all I did at the price. So that was that back. Yeah, it's probably when I felt some sort of failure. I'm like, I can't even do what I'm doing. But I didn't realize until later on that that helped me better my post game. So basically, and then my year it came back same coach. I'm like, you ready? This your year. You got the green light, so I can shoot threes. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't let it. Get tear me down too much because I shot the threes and I ended up leading. I was second in the city in scoring and whatever, and led the team and went to college and continued that. But what it did, I think that moment where the coach said I couldn't do something for the first time in my plan. From seventh grade to now 11th grade, I can't shoot threes. Actually, no, my sophomore year. Actually, so because he was the head coach, but he was the man. So second, third game of the season, I shot about 2 threes and get the rebound, coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? Coach sat me down. Boom.
Old school coach.
I'm like, damn it. I'm like, fuck basketball, man. Yeah. I'm like, man, I don't want to play no ball. So, but I was fortunate to. I ended up walking on to school because I wasn't heavily or highly recruited. Part of that was me. I didn't push myself enough. If I would have pushed myself hard, like my pops always tried to get me, I probably would have had some offers and stuff for it. But I still, regardless, had the opportunity to play. I played three years in the flat conference, man, and great memories, great stories. It got me to realize that if you want something, man, you just gotta, well, first of all, if you want it, and I think for a lot of people, they're trying to figure out what they want in life. But once you realize you want it, man, just dig deep and go for it. Get it. I learned that shit. Because I probably would have at least made overseas some shit. I did get invited after my senior year to Utah to the overseas camp, but man, my hoop dreams are faded by then. I went out there. I
I think a lot of that has to do with like my brothers would tell you that I was obsessed with basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you get humbled in the sense that nobody's checking for you. See, that was my case because I was looked at as a football player. So nobody really wanted it, like, he playing football, whatever. You know what I mean? But that's another story. Don't make a difference. Ja'Quari, related from you was a basketball player, but you was mostly a football player, offensive lineman. Relate that to the situation.
For me, man, it was I moved to Carolina in 2001. I graduated in 91. Graduated from high school in 91. Moved to Carolina in 91 and decided to play football. But in 2001, I was 28 years old. So I, took the chance, walked on, and at Central made the team, or whatever. And I had some successes, man. Those bright shining lights that I had when I was a kid. I had those flashes, man. But physically, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I injured my knee in practice one day, and I said, the hell with it. I can't do it, and they wouldn't give me no money anyway. So I said, I'm just gonna be a student. So I'm in the theater department, and around the time that I had decided I wasn't gonna play no more, it was a play that it was called Barbershop. It was written by a former student. I can't call his name right now, but it was written by a former central, a central graduate or whatever. And it was originally it was another guy in the role that I had, but he pulled out for some reason, and they asked me. So yeah, I auditioned for it, and and it was pretty good for me. It was pretty good for me, but I learned that being on the stage in theater, man, it might as well be a contact sport, man, because I found myself having to get in shape for it, because the things that I didn't know. You gotta fill up a room, no matter how big that room is. You gotta fill it up with your personality, just so the people in the back can hear the same things that the people in the front can hear. You gotta be larger than life because anybody will tell you, we can always pull you back. And I love that because me being 6'7", I was always the focal point on the stage, always the focal point on the stage, man. And that fed, you know, that fire for recognition and people paying attention to me that I longed for, as a child or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I found on the stage, man, and it became comfortable for me. It was a very very comfortable place for me, throughout the 4 years that I was at Central.
Okay.
Very good times for me, man. And I was in some of the best physical conditions up to that point that I was ever in my life. Because what is it? For us, it was 6 weeks of 6 weeks of rehearsal, and then we had 3 4 days of the actual production. two plays a day or whatever. That shit was hard for me. It was hard for me, you know, in the beginning when I didn't know exactly what I needed to put into it. But when I figured it out, when I created and figured out my own formula, yeah, it was something that I actually love, something of my own that I actually love. Because at that point, you know, like my peers, my friends, or whatever back home, hell, if they wanted to be in entertainment, they wanted to be rappers. You know, I didn't know anybody who wanted to be an actor. You know, so that was my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but
Okay.
it was a lot of good memories, man. 4 good years. You know, and I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't trade those years for anything.
All right. Well, look, let me change it up just a little bit, man, because I'm doing this on purpose because of the people that's here, and I know it's going to be some great responses. The first part of it is, and it's relating to the questions we just answered, just the last couple questions. You know, I'm a J. Cole fan, Kendrick, Kendrick Lamar fan. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of lyrics. I'm old school, but I'm a fan of lyrics. You know, and J. Cole said, when you let them kill your dreams, your dreams still haunt you. When you let them kill your dreams, your dreams still haunt you. We'll start with you, X. What does that mean to you, that statement?
Oh man, I respect Cole, man. All the rappers is out now. I'm like you, I'm old school with it. I'm sure everybody, all of us are, man. J. Cole, you know, he's that guy. I'm not familiar with that song, those lyrics, but when you let them kill your dreams, they still haunt you.
Your dreams still haunt you.
Yeah, I think it's metaphorically speaking about your inner demons. Because then, first of all, them letting them kill your dreams mean that's the outside or opposing forces.
Okay.
Those are the ones that actually kill your dreams. Your dreams are internalized. Your dreams are your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. We think sometimes we just dream when we sleep. We dream when we awake. We dream when we walking right now. Right now could be a dream. You know, we can all get off this podcast and literally go live a dream. You see what I'm saying? So metaphorically, I think it's when you allow outside or opposing forces to sort of dictate or kill, you know, your vibe, if you will, or your hopes and your aspirations because of, for whatever reason, then those same things that you desired, the same dreams, the same feelings of hope or whatever, they're gonna haunt. Basically, meaning because you let somebody else, you know, pretty much get in your way when you should outside of yourself. So I think basically what I'm getting from it is internalize it, go for it, don't let anything externally, you know, stop you, or else
Okay.
they will haunt you. Or I guess will. Meaning, because you know that haunting is an interesting word he chose because it could be we think ghost or whatever, but it could be just like damn, you know how we all would talk like, man, if I would have made that one decision 20 years ago, you know,
Yeah.
I could be here. Yeah, if I'd have taken that job in that place, or if I'd have moved, or if I'd have on the court, if I'd have just, you know, made that one move, we'd have won a championship, whatever. It still
Yeah.
haunts, so you still think about it, you know. So if you let somebody outside or a force outside of yourself destroy your dreams, destroy your vision, then they're gonna haunt you. They're gonna be
Gotcha.
there. That's what I get.
Okay. Damon, what about you?
What I get from it is him having regrets, man. Could be when you talk about dream, that doesn't affect anybody else but yourself because it's something that is a situation that you're thinking about in terms of the future and how you want to go about it or whatever. And then somebody comes in, how do they destroy that? That's something that's with you forever until it's accomplished, until you lose your will or whatever. But I'm saying, he said when they kill your dreams, it still haunts you. That's basically saying to me that you allow somebody to kill your dreams. You know what I'm saying? You allow somebody to take over your dreams in your life. Hey, like Richard Pryor, ex-wife said, "Oh, you got any dreams? We want them too." You know
That's real.
that. Do you give up control of that? You know what I'm saying? Because you really, I mean, you have dreams, but there's a journey that you have to go through. It's a process, and all of that is an experience. So, how do you allow anybody to affect that? Is my point.
Okay.
Because it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's yours, and personally. You internalize it, and you look for the road to travel to be able to achieve it. How do a person kill that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jaquari, what is your take on it?
My take on it, man, is we all, as human beings, man, we all deal with with that great big old what if. You know what I mean? Some of us have several what ifs, but the ones that really, really keep us up at night, the ones that for some reason or another we can't deal with our shortcomings, so we do put it on other people. Because, as Dana just said, I don't really think it's possible for another man to kill somebody, another man's dream. You can't
Unless
do it.
unless we allow it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and unless physically apprehend you and prevent you from taking those steps. But anything outside of that, I mean, it's our all of our hells are all self-made, man. I mean, do myself, for instance, I wish I was still involved in theater and acting and everything. I do. But over the years, man, I've given myself the leeway to construct so many excuses why I'm not. Is something that I don't think about it that often anymore.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's like I said, nobody else has actively had an opportunity to impede me, to stop me from doing that.
Hmm.
But if we were to go over my list of excuses, I'm sure it would be filled with outside sources.
Of course.
Mhm.
Of course, because what do we always do? Well, I mean, we inadvertently, because I think just being conditioned to get along with the overall community, we condition ourselves to look for excuses of why you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
why we hadn't
we,
made it.
we
Being,
lie to ourselves. I'm not even going to
yeah,
condition. I'm not even going to say condition. We lie to ourselves, man. We lie to ourselves that we are content.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and if you truly are content, then so be it. But if there's just something that you know told yourself at one time you at least wanted to try before you died, and you haven't, there's
Yeah.
no excuse for it.
Because I've always, my answer to it is, the way I see it is the way I see myself. I've never, the only talent that I feel, whether it is or not, that I feel I've had was leading, leading people. You understand? Making the difficult decisions and really and truly deciphering where I'm going. When it comes to an artistic talent, I don't, I really can't see that I have anything other than maybe putting the pen to paper sometimes when I'm feeling pissed off, when I'm feeling low. That's when the artistic side comes out. But hell, I'm not pissed off and I'm not low a lot of the time. So that talent don't come through. You feel what I'm saying?
Or could it be a question that you just haven't found the medium yet?
Well, maybe. But the one thing that I know is I have the talent to lead and step out there when nobody else wants to.
If y'all was to think about all the talented people that we admire through the millennium, Shakespeare and Plato, all these different people, man, were they like everybody else, man?
No.
What made them famous? Giving their own thoughts and ideas and their own concepts, right? That's what it was, and they depended on, because think about all the people who are famous but died paupers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Didn't reap the benefits from
I would, I would, I would,
folks.
I
Go
would
ahead.
say that I would say that they're exactly like us. Man. They're
Right.
exactly like us.
But
You know,
How they,
artistic talent, and everything, man. But what they did was they created opportunities for themselves.
and they ain't give a fuck whether or not people thought of them
well,
differently.
what was
Either.
the opportunity? The
Um,
opportunity was not to get phased out or care about if people listen to you or not. It was predicated on your own thoughts,
Yeah, yeah.
identities, and concepts, right?
You what you
You know
do
what I'm
is you make people not make
saying? So what do we
convince
do?
people. You convince people to think along your lines.
But what if that convincing doesn't happen in your lifetime? Is my point.
It happens all the time, bro. You're right. This is
My,
all our great philosophers, because you got to think about Plato, uh, Aristotle,
Socrates.
Socrates, and all these different folks, right? They looked at them as being peculiar, being crazy, being all
exactly.
these different things. You know
Exactly,
what
and
I'm saying?
this is the point of making. I mean, do you get caught up on whether or not you get phased out, you get blackballed or whatever, or you just put your own personal shit out there? You know what I'm
If it
saying?
ain't no,
Based
it's hard.
on
I'm
what you
being a
believe
dick.
in yourself.
I'm being a dickhead, but it's hard when you ain't getting paid to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like being different, when you ain't getting paid to be different, it's very hard for you to stick to your guns. I mean, especially when you got people,
Right, but
and
then
this is not making an excuse though. But go ahead.
when you speak about in that aspect, then you're giving control over your life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I agree.
You're giving control over your life, and then it's all predicated on whether or not you can be blackballed or somebody just don't agree with your opinion. One person would not 15 people could disagree, but that one person who does and then takes it to another level,
Mhm.
you were part of that.
Gotcha,
You know what I'm saying?
gotcha.
There's meaning in your life predicated on you just being yourself, man. You know what I'm saying?
But you,
And not being a follower or anything like
but
that.
isn't that rare? Because we all look for the approval of other people, man. Now, I'm not talking about. I am not saying that it is hammered, but a lot of times the majority of us, that's a better way of putting it, we look for the approval of the whole.
Yeah, I mean I think that's just how it.
You know what I'm saying? It's just,
That's how we.
I
That's how
mean,
we make
society.
money.
is it because we're being conditioned to be that way, or is it because
I think. Yeah, I think the majority of it is conditioned. I mean, think we grow up as parents. What do we do as children? We look to the approval of our parents. I mean, as children, we look to the approval of our parents,
Mhm.
grandparents, so forth. And inside the home, outside the home is the teachers and the pastors in church or whatever. For those
Mhm.
who go. But or anything, martial arts instructors, coaches, you're gonna look. You're seeking at a young age the approval, and then that spills on into relationships. You want that person to look at you and like you, and you look good, you smell good, your hair's done a certain way. Girls look at a body, they're in the gym hitting it hard. Fellas got to get their swag on. I mean, it's all about approval to me, and I think it stems from conditioning from child. Other than that, you probably have, I'm sure, those few select people, like the ones we were talking about, well, don't need no damn approval from nobody. This
Yeah,
is me, and this is what I'm gonna get done, and I'm gonna do it regardless. But
yeah,
I think the
Mhm.
majority, yeah, a great majority,
yeah.
seek
Yeah, well,
approval,
And
whether we know it or
and
not.
yeah,
less
yeah,
about
yeah.
and less.
Well, Jesus lived. He lived his whole life with just 12 people. You know what I'm saying? And he
I
got
get it.
persecuted. You
I
feel what I'm
get
saying?
it.
And that's the point I'm making. You stand on what it is that you're feeling and what you believe within yourself, and for lack of a better phrase, hope that people understand where you're coming from and not give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Therein lies your choice. You know what I'm saying? Being yourself or giving a damn about what other people think. You know what I'm saying? Is it
Yeah,
real?
but I think
Is it
the
really truly that simple?
not
No,
not
it
at
ain't
all.
nothing
Because
ever simple, man.
what is being yourself? Like I said, it's conditioning. If people are taught to think a certain way, to live a certain way, then is that themselves? So how are you going to tell somebody be yourself, but be how I taught you to be, or be how the Bible or the Quran or this or this, be how grandma always taught you? How are you going to, what is being yourself if you've been conditioned to think along certain lines, parallels of other people's concepts or ideas, whether it's Socrates, Plato,
But
Jesus Christ, or whoever?
yeah, with that being said, which is a good point, X, but sometimes the majority is right. You know what I'm saying? You know, and what I mean by that is the overall morality of things, how you treat other people,
Oh, yeah.
how you don't. You know what I'm saying? And this is not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, just adding that, just hooking that on to
Yeah.
what you just said. You feel what I mean?
Yeah,
Because-
but you lose. But in that mindset or attitude, do you lose the concept of self?
Look,
I think people don't have the concept. A lot of people don't have the concept. That was what I was saying. I don't think they have it to lose.
So what do you mean now? Because first of all, of course you have to have a foundation to build on when you're building who you are as a person, right? But there is an influence on getting along with everybody.
Okay, then so let me
see what I'm
put it
saying?
in, let me put it in sports vernacular or sports situations, right? If you trying out for a team, right, and the coach come to you and say, you ain't who I thought you was, and I don't think you're gonna make it, right? And then in turn, you practice, do whatever you have to do based on how you feel about yourself and how you practice, how you do whatever. And then that coach don't have no other choice to say, hey man, I don't like your attitude, but I'm gonna play you because I want to win. You know what I'm saying? Did that coach influence you to be your best self? Or did you prove to that coach, hey man, I have this to contribute, and you trying to change me into something else doesn't help either one of us.
But in sports, sports is a
an
hard
artistic,
thing to bring up,
yeah.
man. You can't
From an artistic point of view,
sports shit.
From an artistic point of view, from an artistic point of view, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't care.
You don't, because it's all about the individual, which makes sense.
This is what I'm going through, and this is the way I choose to express it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
and whether you accept it or not doesn't really make any difference. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference to me.
When it's a team sport, there's got to be some structure in order for the team to win. But this is a sport.
Yeah, but
this is entertainment. Yeah, no. Listen, what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying to you, I think that was the wrong. I think that was kind of the wrong example, because team sports is different from being an individual. Way different.
No. Well, I'm gonna push back. I disagree. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have a Kobe, you wouldn't have a LeBron, you wouldn't have a Dr. J,
okay,
you wouldn't have an MJ.
Hold on. Now we all lived within those times, right? If we want to keep it a buck. Now, how many of us thought that they was mavericks pushing against the grain?
Better question. Better question.
Individuals.
Better question, Keith. Not to cut you off, but how many of us consider those men artists?
Damn,
would you consider Michael?
That's a good perspective, though.
Would you consider Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant to be an artist in their muse, Damon?
I think more Kobe. MJ stayed within the structure.
You can draw that conclusion just by the artistry of how they move and how they score and how they you can draw that conclusion, but it was predicated on the fact that they took on their own personal thoughts and concepts and made the team adjust to them. Is my point I'm making.
I think the only one who did that was Kobe. Michael Jordan succeeded in a high level within the team structure.
Michael Jordan?
Yes. Think about it.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify a bit more. When Michael Jordan won how many dunk contests in consecutive years? How many dunk contests titles did he win?
He only won two, man. But I don't think they was
Okay,
consecutive
the
though.
two. All right. Well,
Yeah.
whatever one you remember in particular, the dunk that he won with, would you consider that to be artistry?
Yeah,
Me,
isn't that
me
the
personally,
logo on his shoes?
no. Listen, me personally, I am not debating whether or not he was an artist or not, because you have to be an artist. You have to be an individual. And Michael Jordan, to me, this is why I said I would think more of Kobe than anything, because Kobe emulated Michael Jordan in a lot of ways, but Kobe was more of he played more as he's a great player, more of an individual than Jordan did, because Jordan was able to play within the team construct and excel exceedingly.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Outside of the team construct, the physical acts that they executed, would you consider that to be artistry?
Yeah, but that's the point. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
that's that's my
I'm not
that's my point
debating
to
that.
think.
I was just
Yeah.
saying that, he grew Kobe and Jordan together. I would say that Jordan was successful at the traditional game, was all this, and it blew up within the traditional structure like that. Bam! I'm taking this shit and I'm taking it to here where nobody's gonna be able to come. Right? Kobe was like, "Yo, I'm going to take your moves. I'm going to emulate them, but also I'm going to put my own personal stamp to it." That's the artist in him, because that's what Kobe did. Put his own personal stamp to it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about it is I don't believe in the GOAT debate. People who are fans of this podcast know I don't believe in the GOAT. I don't believe that in shit at all. I believe that Michael Jordan was probably one of the greatest leaders of men to play. Him along with Bill Russell, one of the greatest leaders of men. You feel what I'm saying? Kobe did, even though Kobe was gifted, he went beyond the gifts that he had and became highly successful. You feel what I'm saying? LeBron James still playing, so I really don't like to talk about it, but LeBron James still playing. In my eyes, LeBron James is the most complete basketball player to ever play. Complete, where he can do everything. And he's a student of the game, and he did everything that everyone else could do. You know what I'm saying?
And if you've seen his feet, them motherfuckers look like abstract sculptures and shit.
It looked like he was fucking sculpting marble with them toes, boy. Shaq too. I'm like, well, damn, Shaq. You know what I mean? But all right, well, look, let me do this, man. These last couple questions, what they're designed to do, because the three of you guys have something that I don't have. You have a special place in your heart when it comes to being there fully for the fair sex, right? So I'm curious about, you'll understand what I mean in a minute, man. I'm curious about what you guys think. The first question I'm going to ask you is, you know the comedian Michael Collier? You know what I'm talking about? Old school dude, the whole nine, right?
With the
One of
black
his
beard.
jokes, one of his jokes, he said, when you're in a relationship, you either have a teammate or a motherfucking opponent, right? You need to figure out which one you have so you know what direction you go to. So we'll start with you, Damon.
You would start with me, huh?
Look at that. He. All right, we're gonna come in with you, Jaquari, because he.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
start with
God,
something.
man, be
Hey,
fearless, Negro. You know what I mean?
look, I got somebody standing at the top of the stairs too, bro.
I get that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm
That ain't
saying
got
to
nothing to do
you,
with it, man.
just give me your opinion because this not a loaded question. Y'all know,
Okay.
y'all see this question.
We can
I'm
start
just
with me.
I'm just
All
fucking
right,
with you, bro.
go ahead, Damon. I know y'all joking, man.
This
you know
is how
we
I
do.
truly feel about it, man. I came to a point in my life, man, where I'm only concerned about the person that I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with what somebody said. They in their anger they can identify with. I'm talking about us knowing each other personally and the relationship we tried to build. If we're trying to build something, it's going to happen. If it don't, then we can come to a consensus and say, you know what, this is not working out without animus and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's my goal. I'm not going to be angry with anybody if I'm giving my level of best and it don't work out, bro. I'm not going to have that argument. You know what I'm saying? Because then that takes me away from what I'm trying to achieve in the future. You feel you follow what I'm saying so far? So as far as who needs to be this and that, I think it's a equal thing. The goal is to find somebody that understands when you at your weakest point, not to judge you, but to say, you know what, I got it from here. You know what I'm saying? I got it from here. And then when you pick yourself up, we can get back on the same page with each other. And that's the goal. It's not to be, well, I don't agree with you, and we just can agree to disagree. And that's the damn relationship. That shit, when has that ever worked out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When has that ever worked out? I mean, if you decide that you want to be with a person, you're either gonna come to the conclusion that it's not going to work, or it's going to work, and you have to have some patience and understanding. And that's what, in my estimation, my humble opinion, that's what I've been with, and I've been with mine for 40 years. So
Okay.
All
right. Well, hey, X.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's more or less. Let me read it back to you because really and truly, the questions I bring on here is not loaded questions. It's just honest answers, right? When you're in a relationship, you either have a teammate or a motherfucking opponent. This quote. You need to figure out which one you have to know what direction you need to go. What is your opinion about that?
Man, I think he's dead on, man. I think and we're talking about relationships. I'm taking traditional man, woman.
You sounding far away. Is there a way you can
know,
adjust so we can hear you clearly?
It's probably my AirPods. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, relationship, man, to me is all about the foundation. I think Damon pretty much said everything that I would have echoed. So it's about that foundation. If that ain't solid, you know what I'm saying, then you really ain't got nothing. So I think in him using the terms teammate or opponent, I do agree. I think if you want to make it, you got to have somebody on your side that's solid, somebody that got you. You know what I'm saying? And that's that teammate. Oftentimes, though, the teammates can become your opponents, and that happens. I know from a personal perspective. I know from other people where they ride or die, they everything, and then next thing you know, whatever the situation may be, we can all kind of put fill in the blank on that. Next thing you know, you got an opponent. So it's kind of I agree with it. You're gonna have a teammate opponent, but it's not figure out which one at that time. Unless he was saying at the time you figure out, damn, this motherfucker was my teammate, now she my damn enemy or opponent or he or whichever. Then we got to figure it out and make some changes necessary, it ain't gonna be. It's destruction waiting to happen.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that we gotta just have that solid foundation. And if it's solid enough, I ain't gonna look. We're gonna go through. We're gonna have our shit. We're gonna like Damon said, agree to disagree. Does it ever work? I mean, I don't know.
Shit.
Easier
Yeah.
said, Easier
Yeah.
said.
Okay. Jaquari. You
Well,
need
I mean,
me?
it's
Do you
yeah. Go ahead.
need me to read it to you?
Almost time.
Yeah. Because this is not a loaded question. This is just your honest opinion. And but really, this is a creating brownie question, to be honest with you. But
What does that mean, bro?
what does it mean?
Brownie
You
question.
always got to create brownies in your household, baby boy. Come on, stop playing. When you're in a relationship, you either have a teammate or a motherfucking opponent. You need to figure out which one you have so you know what direction to go to.
I mean, we all heard y'all saying, man. Was it iron sharpens steel, or however the hell the adage goes, or whatever. I mean, at no point throughout the duration of my marriage, man, have I ever expected full compliance from my wife. I think anything past that is totally unrealistic. I mean, either that or they stopped making them kind of men fucking decades ago. That situation ain't been, you know, uh, it hasn't been. I don't know the correct word to use, but I don't know a lot of people's households who get ran like that or whatever. Are we gonna have disagreements? Yeah, of course we're gonna have disagreements. But what's the lesson to be learned from these disagreements? Do we argue for the sake of arguing? Do we argue for the sake of being right? Or do we argue because this is an issue and we both have a sensible solution to it? And for some reason we're not communicating well enough with each other to convey those solutions. And what's going to happen the next time we have a disagreement? Are we going to go through the same stupid fucked up dance that we're going through now, or do we sit down and hear each other out?
Mm-hmm.
Even with that being said, man, I mean, rarely does it happen. People argue. Firm foundation or not, you're going to have a disagreement with the person that you're with for the rest of your life. The person who you share a bed with, you're going to disagree with them. Okay, do you have the same disagreements? If you do, then that's what the issue is. That's what the issue is. I mean, if I'm arguing with my wife, shit, I hope the God's about something different from the last time we argued. Because if it's not, then ain't neither one of us doing the work.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same thing. We talked about when we talked about failures or whatever. Why we fail? Why is it important for us to fail? So we can learn from the failure and figure out why we failed, make the adjustments so shit don't happen again.
Right. But yeah, but in that aspect, man, shouldn't we be honest with us, at least with the persons that we're trying to build a life with? Because we all know for a fact that, you know what I'm saying, being petty is a choice, man.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Being petty is a choice. But by the same token, when you think about the relationship you were in, and it is a situation you trying to build on or whatever, who knows you more than that person? They know your weaknesses. They know everything because you revealed it. You revealed that self because you're trying to be yourself, right? And now comes the pettiness. Are you going to be petty and argumentative because you can, because you have something over me? Or are you going to have the wherewithal to say, I can't be that? I have to be understanding if I'm trying to build something. So either way, you got choices to make, right?
So what you're saying is part of it has to do with your maturity level.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, bro.
So you can either choose to win an argument or advance the relationship. Is what you're saying.
You are absolutely correct. I had to scream that, brother, because that's the truest thing that you could say. You can take one for the freaking team, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
That's it.
man, you've been wearing your socks for like 5 days now. Is that an issue?
No. Hey,
Because
hey,
why am I
honey,
doing it? Because
no. Look, you look
Because
at
these
your
are only
the
these are
sock
only
drawer is empty.
pair.
no,
These are only
no,
pair to keep my feet
bro,
warm. Is
bro.
that an issue?
No. It's like this. It's like this.
Because
You know what,
the
honey?
sock drawer is empty.
You know what, honey? You right. I done had these damn things for 5 days. Let me change them.
Hey, and Keith. And then she say,
Man,
and
you wear
stop
another
using
pair for 5
and
days.
Keith. She said, and stop using my soap to wash them out. You know what I'm saying? Is that an
Yeah.
issue?
Man. Yeah.
See, look, once we get to that point, then I got to figure out whether she like me or not.
Look,
Right.
Because
I
she
tell
say,
you
well,
what.
you've been wearing them socks. You've been wearing them socks for 5 days, and I'm gonna say, well, it's because the sock drawer is empty. Huh?
But look, the funny thing is,
You know,
when she
who
look
you
at
think?
when she look at you and say, "Hey, man, peel them damn socks off your feet and put some some new ones on." You know what I mean? The operative word is peel. Like, but look, you know what though? I just say this, man. What I learned how to do. This is personally what I learned how to do, and not successful every time, but don't have the failure rate I did when I was younger. Is take one for the team. Like, sit there and don't say shit. As much as I want to say something, I'm gonna look like, all right, you know what I mean? Because sometimes being familiar with your strength makes people feel as though they're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Being familiar with your strength, dealing with your strength every day, make them feel as though they're stronger than they actually are. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to accommodate each other. You know what I mean? It's what it is.
Where I find myself dropping the ball, man, is I take one for the team, man, but in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking one for the team, taking one for the team, taking one for the team. It's your turn now.
You know, and sometimes you say fuck the team. You know what I
It
mean?
don't happen. Yeah. I
Here's
mean,
the thing, though. Here's the
That's right.
thing, though. How about being in an argument, man? And at the end of the argument, you say to yourself, man, I can never get that damn time back in my damn life. That was crazy as hell. When all I had to do was say, you know what, you're right, babe. We ain't arguing. And keep it moving. I mean, it's really that simple, man. I mean,
It is.
it's really
It
that
is.
simple.
It is.
You know, especially about things, especially with the things that we choose to be petty about.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, look, we're on the fumes. So, last question of the day is: right now, as you stand today, is there anything that you can either alter or change in your life? What would it be? We'll start with you, Jaquar, then Damon, and then X will go to you.
well, I don't think I'm as outgoing as I used to be, man. Because when I was younger, I didn't really seek a payoff. But now, especially as I get older, man, I gotta have something. I gotta have some kind of incentive, or I tell myself I need some kind of incentive, you know, to interact and to be a part of the larger conversation and to, you know, interject my opinions and shit, you know. But that's not necessarily the case, man. You know, I like to, especially in a group setting, man, you know, sit around and try to get a feel of everybody's, you know, opinions and where they're coming from or whatever. And, you know, and in doing that, I often miss opportunities, you know, to say some useful shit, you know. So just being a little more, you know, just putting myself out there a little bit more, man, you know, and not necessarily, you know, standoffish because, you know, in my opinion, man, you know, the definition of being standoffish is you know, just, you know, a high level of useless arrogance. I say useless arrogance because, you know, arrogance is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, vanity is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's when people get the perception that you're trying to force that on them. That's when it becomes an issue.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, it's just speaking first, man. Putting myself out there.
Okay. Damon, if there's anything
Well,
that you can alter or change right now, if there's anything that you want to do.
but hell, if I can change it, shit, I'd be 6'8" and 6'9" like my brothers and shit, man. But the only thing I had control over is what I got control over, and you know what I'm saying. Hopefully, the wisdom that I gained along the years will help me with the future things that I'm experiencing, man, and people that I'm engaging with can benefit from it too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's
Gotcha.
just something that's out there that we don't have control over. You know, I'm not clairvoyant, or I don't have no crystal ball. I just you know, deal with the situation the best I can. You know, and depending on who I'm dealing with, if I expect that person to be in my life, then I'm gonna be compromising and understanding.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. X, is there anything that you can alter or change? What would it be?
Honestly, man, I would, you know, don't have regrets either. Um, every every experience along the journey is, in my view, for a legitimate reason of understanding. But of course, that's always a great question. You know, I grew up hearing my pops always just say, "If I could be your age, if I could do it again, if I could be your age, if I could do it all over again, if I could do this again." So, and I used to not, I didn't get why he would say it all the time.
that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, me too. Look, I'm behind y'all a little bit. I'm 46, man. I'm saying it. I've been saying it the last probably 5 years more than I ever have. It's funny, but yeah, I would be more motivated, man. I think I just lack, and like I touched on earlier with just basketball, but just in life, man. When I was everything that I've done, I just kind of half-assed mediocre, you know, and still was successful to a degree. If I could change anything, I'd go back and just be motivated, be driven, you know, and who knows, you know, what I could have. But other than that, you know, like I said, that's not based on any regret. Hey, it was what it was. It is what it is. Always will be. But if I could do anything different in terms of or alter, it's just my approach to life itself and just being more motivated to pursue something, build with a relationship.
Right,
You know, I was
right.
married once, you know, legally married. You know, I'm in a relationship now. It's not legal, but you know, basketball, college, you know what I'm saying, martial arts, law enforcement. I mean, whatever I've done,
Gotcha.
I just coasted through. You know, just
Yeah.
you know, be more motivated to be more successful and be able to achieve more.
Okay.
Other than that,
Okay.
I love my life, man.
Well, look, great, great answers, conversations. X, you
Yeah,
did
man,
not
it's been great,
disappoint.
man.
You did
I love
not
it, man.
disappoint. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
Yeah,
And I
man.
knew
I
I knew my
appreciate
brother. I
y'all.
knew my brothers would like you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
like I
So
said, I met my man at the party. I
yeah,
don't think the other one. I don't think Damien was
Yeah.
there though. But
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
But I also knew just the personality that you have.
it.
and just the way it exudes, the energy that comes about when it's personal on the screen, knew that this would be a great episode in our podcast. And I thank you very much, brother. I really do.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you are, whenever you want to come on,
Yeah.
whether or not you want to promote a movie or a book
For sure.
or a stage
Oh, yeah.
play, come on. We got you. All you gotta do is let me know. And
I
you
will, man.
and I'm putting you coming up front and center. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have a
some good stuff.
website?
I do have a website, but I gotta tweak it. It's kind of, I do everything myself. I'm straight independent with all my stuff. But yeah, it's a Johnny AJANIK. I'm sorry, AJANIK 13.com, JohnnyK13.com. I do a lot of my theater work through Pure Life. That's purelifetheater.com.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I'll do that, man.
All right, well send it to me. And
Yeah,
what
I'll
I'm
see
gonna do is each episode that we have, I'm gonna throw it. You see the clicker on the side down on the screen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it up there at least
Okay.
twice a episode, so
Y'all
people
do this
know.
once a month or what?
No, we do this every Friday at 7:30,
Oh,
bro.
every Friday. Okay, yeah.
And it's all live, man. So
Yeah.
this is what we do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, y'all keep doing it, man. I'm proud.
My cousin Malika, she wants to
Yeah.
know where your movies are streaming.
So the one that's only one that's streaming now is my little beatbox cameo. Now it's called Amazing Gracie, and it's on I believe it's on Prime. It's streaming on Prime and maybe Peacock and Hulu and Prime.
Okay.
It's called Amazing Gracie, Gracie.
The
It's a good
beatbox,
movie, though.
the
Yeah,
beatbox
it's a good
according
movie,
to the faith base. So you know,
Yeah, faith-based film. You know, it's just a good little plot twist. You know,
that's
cool
real.
to be able.
That's real.
And
That's real.
from what I heard, I know they were keeping us posted. They won some, not won, but got nominated for some, I guess the awards or whatever.
She says, "Amazing Grace." Was it
Gracie,
amazing?
Gracie.
Yeah,
Amazing Gracie.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I think she's seen it. That's why she put it up there. That's why she put it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then I'll be in Atlanta next month, but that'll be sometime probably. You know,
let them know.
Hey, every time you drop something, I'll be like, yeah, that's my dog, man.
That's my dog. That's my man.
So hopefully that day will come, man. I'll be, you know,
pointing at the screen like, oh man.
Yeah, man.
Okay, well.
But I appreciate it again, though, fellas, man. It's been real.
Yeah.
You did
It's
a
a
great job,
great
man.
platform you got here too. You know, I love it.
You did a great job, man. That's real. Any last words? This Strong Perspective Podcast. Please go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe, because what we do, we promote conversation. And we always have some of the best human beings on this podcast. We have some of the best conversation on this podcast because it's real podcast. Now, this is not a gimmick. This is not going against the grain. It's the simple fact that what we're trying to do is make people understand that grown men and women can have conversation with the majority of the conversation is just talking about life, journey, the whole nine. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we can get controversial and we can talk shit, especially when Damon talking about Trump. And we can talk shit. You know what I'm saying? But look, this is the first episode, Jaquar. This is the first episode in like 4 or 5 episodes. He ain't say nothing about Trump.
That's because I ain't trying to do.
Trying to get it started.
I ain't trying to do.
He trying to get you said.
I don't feel like no foolishness today, man.
But this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Go like, share, and subscribe. Any last words, gentlemen, before we stay? Hey, X, stay on until we get off live, man.
Okay.
But any last words before we get off?
Gentlemen, I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation once again. I look forward to the next. And bullshit ain't nothing but chewed up grass. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty.
No doubt.
God damn, that was deep.
Yeah. That's the bullshit.
No
That's chewed up grass.
No doubt. Anybody else before we go?
I can't follow that, bro. No, I'm good.
Yeah. He ended it good on that, man.
This is Strong
Appreciate it.
Perspective Podcast. We'll see you next week at 7:30 on Friday.
Peace.
Peace.